Hi, welcome. Big edition of the Counter Press with me, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. The channel is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. There's a lot of breaking news, and I'll run you straight through them. But then just before we get into it, first of all, Manchester United are in need of a left back. Big need of a left back, and I'm running you through it. So if you are listening to me, it's like this. Manchester United do not have any available senior left back in their team. The possible players that can play there, maybe Leandro Martinez can go and play there at left back. They can also play Diogo Dalot at left back. And there's a young Fernandez also in their team who can play at left back. Because Luke Shaw's injury came as untimely, Manchester United have not been able to get Luke Shaw back fit in. And they realize that it's going to be for a prolonged spell. So Luke Shaw is going to be out of Manchester United for a very, very long time. And they're looking for a left back. Mind you, in situations where clubs have players getting injured out of the blue, of course, injuries are usually out of the blue. But if it's unplanned, what they do is that they look out for the best possible, cheapest option on the market. So Manchester United are looking for the best possible, cheapest option on the market to replace Luke Shaw for Manchester United at left back. It's important. If you look at the game they played today against Nottingham Forest, it was difficult. Progression from Aaron Wan-Bissaka's side is a little bit difficult because Bissaka is not the best on the ball. So usually progression used to go between through Luke Shaw's area. Now that Luke Shaw is injured, when Diogo Dalot did come on, you realize that he wasn't even comfortable on the ball. It wasn't the best. They struggled in that game against Nottingham Forest. And of course, they came back to win by 3-2. But essentially, it was a tough game for them, especially in the early openings of the game. So it's imperative that they get a natural left-footed player in that area. Now, they are looking for three possible options that I'm giving them to you. First of all, is Chelsea's Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, you know by now that Cucurella has fallen out of favor under Mauricio Pochettino. He's literally the third possible left fullback for Chelsea. There is already vice captain Benjamin Chilwell, Ian Matheson, who's also still there, Marc Cucurella. There was also Lewis Hall, who is a much more technical left back, but then Chelsea have let him go to Newcastle. We'll talk about Lewis Hall later. But yes, he have left to Newcastle, and that's very, very important. So they are looking for a possible left back. Chelsea have Marc Cucurella, who hasn't played in 3 games at all for Chelsea Football Club. He's a very good option in terms of build-up. If Manchester United want to build in a 3-2 shape in progression, Marc Cucurella is an exciting player. So they can have Varane, Leandro Martinez, and Marc Cucurella. He's an exciting player. I'll bet he's not the best in terms of the attacking exploits of the game. But if you want to build in a 3 at the back and someone that gives you that versatility from fullback and defense, then Marc Cucurella is the guy. Of course, because he has fallen out of favor at Chelsea Football Club, Man United know that they can get him for a soft loan or a dry loan, very, very cheap, and wait for Luke Shaw to get fully fit. And they are looking at that option. It's a big one for Manchester United. They are looking at Cucurella to join them in there for him in that regard. Also, apart from that, there's Sergio Reguilon. He's a Tottenham Hotspur player, mind you. Tottenham bought him for Real Madrid under Jose Mourinho. It hasn't really worked after Nuno Espirito Santo. Still, it didn't work. Ange Postecoglou has come on to become the manager of Tottenham Hotspur, and it's still not working. Even under Antonio Conte, where he had a few stints at fullback, it didn't really work out for him. And Tottenham Hotspur are fighting for a place to let Sergio Reguilon go. You know, the transfer window is ending. Almost every player that's surplus to demand in every club, the clubs are finding ways to offload them. Because yes, we speak about transfers and we say the first thing is about the fees of the players, but essentially the most important thing that accumulates over time is the wages of these players. And Tottenham Hotspur, after losing Harry Kane, getting Edoji into the team, Emerson Royale, and then Pedro Porro, who are now their fullbacks in the team, they believe that these are good enough going into the season, and Sergio Reguilon have to go. Ange Postecoglou doesn't seem to be excited about Sergio Reguilon, and then he was always almost on his way out to Spain, but that deal didn't fall through, and then they are looking. Tierney has moved to Sociedad. Reguilon wasn't able to go there. So yes, Manchester United are looking at Reguilon, Marc Cucurella. They are all cheap options in times like this, agents will reach out to the clubs. They'll ask them, do you want my player? Do you want to look at him? He's a good fullback. He's cheap. He can get him on loan. How do you want him? And Cucurella, Sergio Guillén is a huge example of that. And also, importantly, is Levin Kazawa, former Paris Saint-Germain player. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain player. They want to get him off their books as well. He's also a very good player, somebody that can play at fullback and centre back as well for Manchester United. So United are looking for that. It's a big game, big one for them. They want to get one because they know that Diego Dalot is not a natural left fullback. He's only a backup to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And then, of course, Luke Shaw's injury may prolong. Fernandez also isn't a young player that they can't really bang their hopes on at fullback. So definitely they want to make sure they get a replacement for Luke Shaw in that regard. And Manchester United are huge on the market. Marco Cucurella is a big example. Kazawa is an example. And then, of course, Sergio Guillén is another player that they are looking at. But then, see, if you are just tuning into the counter praise and Fiifi-Manfred, the reason why I always urge you to turn on the notification button on. Today, I made a prediction. If you're a Panther, while on the show, I did mention that Taiwo Awoniyi is going to be the anytime goal scorer today. And both teams are going to score. And it was verbatim and straight up. Taiwo Awoniyi did score. Both teams scored. It was brilliant. If you join the counter press, you subscribe, you turn on the notification button, select all. These are some of the things that you get apart from the information and then the transfer analysis. So yeah, that's the video.
Something that is hitting me. I think it's a game where anytime goal scorer by Taiwo Awoniyi, both teams score. And somebody I can confirm that will score a goal with Taiwo Awoniyi. To your investor, you keep that in check. Now, also on spare cash,
in there that goes to show for you. But essentially, this is what you get when you join the counter press. And thank you very much for subscribing and turning notification. But let's go on. Apart from Manchester United, there are also a few things that we need to talk about, and we'll go through them straight away. First of all is the fact that Romelu Lukaku moved to AS Roma. Lukaku is a funny guy. So Lukaku in an interview today says, although the deal is not done, Chelsea have not agreed with Roma for Romelu Lukaku. But today, Romelu Lukaku in an interview was verbatim that he's going to travel to Rome tomorrow on Sunday and that he's going to sign. But Chelsea have not agreed anything with Roma. In fact, this is exactly what happened. Roma proposed a €5 million dry loan fee for Chelsea. Chelsea says no, it's not enough. Chelsea are looking at 9 million, 8 million, 10 million in excess of that for a loan fee for Romelu Lukaku, because they're looking at selling Romelu Lukaku for, say, at least £42 million. That's about 35, 32 thereabouts million euros. So it's no, it has to be more in euros. They need more. But Romelu Lukaku gets to an interview, and in a bit to try and put pressure on Chelsea, quickly tells the interviewer that, oh, I'm going to Rome tomorrow. Chelsea says no, that's not enough. £4.2 million in loan fee for Romelu Lukaku is definitely not enough, and Chelsea aren't accepting it. They have told Roma's directors to go back to Rome, discuss it, and then up the offer. Chelsea are running against time. Roma may not even come today or tomorrow because they know that at the dying embers of the transfer window, Chelsea would want to let him go. But Chelsea also know that immediately the transfer window in Europe closes, the possible options to let him go to Saudi Arabia, and they are calm. They may want to force him to go to Saudi Arabia if this Roma deal is not done. So keep your eye on Romelu Lukaku to Roma. It's a big deal in there for that. Romelu Lukaku is making a mess out of himself. He needs to be careful. But Chelsea aren't agreeing the 4.2 million quick for Romelu Lukaku as a loan bid. And just still staying on Chelsea, Georgi Petrovic has signed his Chelsea deal. He's now a top Chelsea player. The Serb has spoken about how he looks at players like Ivanovic, Nemanja Matic, who played for Chelsea, and then he wants to be the next player. Boy, he's a brilliant goalkeeper. Petrovic is a brilliant goalkeeper in terms of shot stopping. And I like his frame. He's tall, very big. And he alludes to the fact that he likes goalkeepers like Thibaut Courtois, and then, of course, Peter Cech. Thibaut Courtois, of course, is as tall as he is. And he says that he likes him. So we see how Georgi Petrovic will be done. But then it's exciting to have a very good goalkeeper. I'm not so convinced about Robert Sanchez, but Petrovic joins in, and it's a good one for him. And that is something that you would expect for Chelsea to give competition to Robert Sanchez. Now, most importantly, Mohamed Kudus. Kudus Day. Today, just for contest sake, Brighton wanted Mohamed Kudus. They could not agree a few with Ajax Amsterdam. Mohamed Kudus decided not to also go on with personal terms with Brighton. I've told you before here that the reason why Mohamed Kudus decided to stay away from Brighton is because they decided against allowing him put a release clause in his contract. But Mohamed Kudus says, I want a release clause in my contract. I think that I'm good enough, and sometime I may need to leave when a bigger club comes. Tony Bloom and then Paul Barber decided against that. They didn't allow them put a release clause into that. Mohamed Kudus now officially has done his medicals today in London. There's a picture of Mohamed Kudus in London getting the medicals done. He has done it. It is done, confirmed at Tottenham, at West Ham United. He's a hammer. And whilst this was going on, Mohamed Kudus was in the London West Ham hospital getting that medicals done. West Ham were in the other part of town in London, in Brighton, where they were walloping Roberto De Zerbi's team that failed to get Mohamed Kudus by 3-1. After Brighton and Hove Albion had about 82% of ball possession. But it's a counter press, it is the turnovers, it is the directness of David Moyes' side that has taken him to the summit of the English Premier League. So Mohamed Kudus has chosen to play for West Ham United. West Ham in turn have gotten the last laugh over Brighton United, and then they have beaten them even after they having a lot of possession. So it's exactly how you want it. People ask, where is Mohamed Kudus going to play? There are a lot of places. He is the best technical player in that West Ham team, even before he gets into it. He is better than Paqueta. He's better than Said Ben Rama from the right hand side, better than Bowen. Albeit these guys are much more direct than him. But Mohamed Kudus brings something else that these players do not have. So yeah, Mohamed Kudus is in there. Like we said it over here. Almost everything is done and dusted for Mohamed Kudus to play for West Ham United. Hopefully by next week, we'll see him in West Ham team that goes to play their next English Premier League game. So yeah, guys, it was just a quick updates, breaking news on the transfer market, what's happening in the last few hours since the last time we dropped the video. And Chelsea have gotten said Petrovic. Man United are looking for options. Cucurella is a big name. Romelu Lukaku is making a mess of himself. Mohamed Kudus, straight up, is going to Tottenham, West Ham United. Why do I say keep on saying that? Tomorrow, we'll bring you all the tactical analysis of the various games that have been played in the English Premier League. My name, Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you. This is the counter press. I'll see you. Subscribe, turn the notification button. Adios. Bye.